This is the start of a new project on my 66 Chevelle. So this 66 Chevelle has been in the family for quite a while, and this engine I built over 20 years ago. And it actually used to be in a different car, but has subsequently made it into the Chevelle. So this engine is nothing too fancy. It's a small block Chevy. It is the best engine I could afford to build at the time, and it's a 383 with an Eagle stroker kit. It has a Dart Iron Eagle 200cc heads and a Victor Jr. intake, 750 double pumper, and a solid flat tappet cam. It's a Comp Cams 282S. So this has been a very reliable and reasonably powerful combination, but the plan for today is to open the engine up, take a look around, replace anything that needs to be replaced, and I think it's time for upgraded heads. I also plan to remove and throw this flex fan in the garbage. When I put it in the early 2000s, I thought it was good. Since then, I think we all know that they are bad. This engine has a solid flat tappet cam. It's a Comp Cams 282S, and lash is 16 thousandths on the intake and exhaust cold. And what I was just checking to see if any had excessive play. I was suspicious to know if any of the cam lobes were wiped, but they actually all seemed pretty good. And later in the teardown, I confirmed that the camshaft is in fact still good. And after removing the intake manifold, just visual inspection finds everything looks pretty good on the inside. And with the heads off, the cylinders and pistons all looked okay as well. This engine has kind of moderate mileage, but they're all hard miles. It's been drag raced quite a bit, and quite a bit of street duty as well. These are the heads that came off the Chevelle. These are Dart Iron Eagle 200cc intake. They're a 72cc chamber. These heads I've had for over 20 years. I think it was 1999, maybe 2000 that I bought them. They have had a bit of bowl work done. That was done by a professional porter. Not a lot, but just in the bowls. And they worked very well. But they're an older head. They are iron. They're pretty heavy. So the plan is to switch over to aluminum heads. And what these are the Flotek 200cc, just a bare casting. And these are 64cc chambers, 200cc intake. I think it's a bit more modern port design. Hopefully flows a bit better than the older style Dart heads. As you can see, these came from the factory. These are bare heads. I'm going to use the same springs and valves from the Dart. And they're machined out okay. They got new seats in them, but there is these ridges and lips all throughout. So what I've done on one head is gone through and just basically blended. My goal wasn't really to change the dimensions or profile of the ports at all, so I try to keep the throat the same. Try not to get into the valve seats, and I don't think I did. But basically just to smooth all the areas where there's machine work on the raw head. And so this one actually is not too bad, but I'll do the same on this head. Go through and these machined transition areas, just blend them in. I did also do a little bit of gasket matching. I don't think this really adds a whole lot, but it was fast and it's easy. So for the few minutes it took, I did that and basically just blended the chambers and blended in the bowls. On the exhaust side, I didn't change a whole lot. I didn't change the profile at all, mostly just the blending. A product I found that I really like a lot are these ARP header bolts, and these ones specifically have a 5/16 end on them, and what this allows is you can use a very small 5/16 wrench, and that just has much easier access to tighten the bolts when they're right up against the header. And working on these headers is always a pain, so anything that makes it easier is well worthwhile. So I think I'm going to buy multiple sets of these, and basically for all the other vehicles, when it comes time to change out headers or header bolts, I'm going to switch them over to this small head design. I swapped out the mini starter for a new mini starter, and this one works very well, and I have it shimmed properly, but this job was just annoying, basically due to the headers and that oil pan. That oil pan has the additional drop sump, and I don't think it's really beneficial or worthwhile at all. Basically, it just makes everything harder to get to, and you can add a couple liters extra of oil, but I don't think it really needs that on a small block Chevy anyway. So it's a nice, very good quality oil pan, but I would not recommend it. It's just too much hassle. I used a borescope camera and assessed the camshaft and lifters. I did pull out all the lifters and look at them individually, and then took a look at the camshaft, and everything looks fine. I didn't see any signs of damage. This engine has close to 0 deck height, so I chose this Cometic MLS gasket. It has a 40 thousandths thickness, and that should give adequate quench. The heads went back on pretty easily, and I'm using a 1.6 rocker, and all the lash has been set to 16 thousandths cold. I added some new aluminum valve covers. I painted the aluminum intake with aluminum paint, and also the aluminum water pump. So basically just cleaned it up. I think it looks pretty good. Some of the planned upgrades are to the cooling system. As mentioned, I plan to get rid of the flex fan, and it was also time for a new radiator. This is an aluminum radiator from Summit, and it's a 4-core and just a direct replacement, and overall it looks very good. Installation couldn't be easier. It fit exactly as it should, and as you can see, there is a bit of space for a fan, although not too much. And so this is the fan that I went with. This is a brushless electric fan from a C7 Corvette, and I bought this new from Rock Auto. So this is the GM replacement fan, and it is, of course, made by Spall. This appears to be a very high quality fan, and I was very happy with the install. I'm going to make a separate video just related to the install of this fan, because with the PWM and brushless, there is some interesting aspects of it. So that's it for the Chevelle for now. So it received new heads, new radiator, new fan, new starter, and a few little things here and there. Overall, I'm very happy with how it turned out. It is running really well at this point. This car is intended to be a mid-11 car in the quarter mile, and so I haven't had a chance to run it in a full quarter mile yet. I did have it out for a 1/8 drag race at an airport, and it was severely limited by traction. The engine appears to be running really well. It feels really strong, but unfortunately it basically spun the entire way through the entire 1/8 mile. And so I had major traction issues and I wasn't able to get a clean run. But just based on how it's running, I think it likely is in that mid-11 range. That's it. See ya.